Hi, I'm Xysis, and this is Hearts of Iron 4, No Step Back, where we're playing as the Soviet Union. And as we said in the last episode, we were gonna start off with fixing up our templates, our divisions. So we can start here. Now, before we do any of this, we will be adding a few. We have to remove from this template 5 of these, and we will be adding 2 more motorized to one of these templates, and that's up to 7 changes we need to do. And we have the bayonet strength here, which will reduce the design cost of motorized infantry and mechanized. So it's free to add those, and the cost for that is 35 experience, and 5 times 7 is of course 35. So by taking this one we can do the changes for free, so it's basically the same cost. So we will select bayonet strength there, or bayonet. That means we can start off with removing a few of these here, and we probably want to keep them. Not anti-tank. We keep them in one brigade. This is a little bit larger brigade than normally you would have like 3 battalions or something, but we'll add a 4th one there. And the Soviets did like larger formations, so this kind of makes sense. These of course are going to be used in low supply zones to save a bit on supply use, and to save on infantry equipment, and it still has a decent amount of defense and HP, so they should be able to hold the ground fairly well. If we really need them to hold a little bit more, we could add the engineer companies here too, if we have the support equipment left over for that in the future, because that uses quite a lot of support equipment, and it gives about 20 more, it's 20 more defense, isn't it? Yeah, a little bit more than 20 defense. That's quite a nice one, but it does add all these defensive bonuses in different terrains, which is really good. So we will make that change. Costs us absolutely nothing. I don't have any of these divisions in the field yet, but that will change very shortly. These divisions I don't really know what to do with them, and if we want to change them, this costs money, of course, or costs experience, and it's a workable division, and we're going to use them mostly in Iran, where the terrain isn't as forgiving as it is in Western or Eastern Europe. Alright, so we're going to create both the motor rifle divisions out of this one, and also the tank divisions. And for this we want to use, we obviously want engineers to be able to get them across rivers faster, or especially because we want to get them across rivers faster. It also helps out with movement through some of the other, like marshes, which we have a lot of, and forests. And adds a little bit of defense too. And as for more supports, we want to use logistics, which we don't have. We're also going to have support artillery and support anti-air, and then we'll have logistics as a 4th one. And if we really want to, we could add armored recon or something to them as well. But I think for now that would boost their movement speed even more, and help them a little bit with on choosing the right tactic. But we're not going to add those yet. We don't really have the equipment set up for it. Well, armored recon is the right one to use, because we've got an excess of light tanks, or will have an excess of light tanks soon. I might add anti-tank if we need the extra boost for that. So that's going to be the same for both our motor rifle divisions and our tank division. So we'll save this one. It costs 30. That's of course the costly part of designing a division. And we want to duplicate this one. And we'll change this one to tank division. And that is Tankovaya Divizia. I'll just rename this one here. I think that's how it's spelled. Can go back here and check. Looks correct to me. You could always use the corpse if you're making a bigger formation than what we're about to do. So the division templates that I'm going to use are based on kind of the real Soviet divisions. So we want to have our 4 motorized infantry in this division. They are going to be... Didn't we duplicate this one? Oh, because we haven't made any changes, I guess it wants to. Let's copy that for a second. And we will just make sure that we have a second one. So we have made a duplicate. Rename it, and we put on the proper naming scheme on it, of course, and update that one. And then we have the second one. This one will be a motorized division. It should switch icons. We'll make this one first since we actually have quite a lot of these. And we can remove 2 of the light tanks. That'll cost some experience. I'm going to remove this one, but we'll add it back in here. And we want to add some... Oh, the motorized ones are actually free to add here too. I think maybe the artillery would have been free then on the infantry. We'll check that too. Just so we know, because then it's everything within these 2 categories that are free. We want to add the rocket artillery, of course. So what would a Soviet division be without the Katyushas? We could have a motorized artillery as a stand-in until it's free to add, so. And the 10 cost here is from removing 2 light tanks, yeah, of course. Alright, so we have the... and doesn't want to... No, we'll change the icon on that. We'll use the best match, of course. Okay, so this is fine. We could maybe use equipment tags because we don't want to have slow tanks in these divisions. So we have to design a tank with a icon first. And this is not Corpus, of course, this is Divizia. It's another either, isn't it? Yeah. Okay, so we will save this. This influences all of the templates we already have in the field, so we'll start getting a lot of light tanks back into stockpile. Since they are now fully stocked up. This, of course, is we could have it either as a motorized one or put it up as a motorized artillery division. We'll just select the motorized division. And it's actually called a mechanized division there. But that's fine. Or we could rename it to a motor rifle division. Motostrelkovaya. Because these aren't gonna have any mechanized. And yeah, that looks good to me. Couldn't we rename it? Oh, because we have a... Let's just add something there. We will edit this one. Rename that one. Hide these. Pop back in here and remove that one. Very nice. And this template, we've got the motorized infantry we want to have here. We can actually add in the motorized artillery there too. And we will leave these be for now, I think. And we don't want to have the motorized artillery there anyway, I think. No, that's fine. We're going to have self-propelled artillery here instead. We're probably going to convert our light tanks into that. If we can, should be able to make that work. These are going to be 8 kilometers per hour. We're going to have 4 medium tanks and 2 heavy tanks per division. So you know the plan there, but there's no point in actually making that change until we start producing the medium tanks. So let's see, we've got 25 more army experience, so we'll get on to these. Let's see if we can find any. We got the BT7 on the improved chassis, of course, and we have loads of tanks down here now. We don't have any T27s, these are the T26 that we have a lot of. We can should be able to check here still, don't think we've got them all replaced. So we've got the T26 and these are being phased out, as are the BT5s. I think the BT5s are on a newer chassis. So we've got 1,000 of them in the stockpiles. And this is a good choice then to convert into self-propelled artillery. And we can actually convert the BT5s into the same thing. Let's select the. Do we want these or do we want the? That's a one-man turret. We're gonna have to replace the turret anyway. Okay, it makes no difference. It's basically the same design. So these are 2-2, and the BT5 has 8 engine. So it's better to use the BT5 as a base. We're gonna pop it over to fixed. And medium armaments, we could use a medium cannon. Don't think we can select self-propelled artillery with a medium cannon. So we will have to go with the close support gun for now. And we will replace it for a medium howitzer when it's available. And these don't need to go 12, they only need to go 8. And it doesn't really hurt to have some armor on them. We will keep the riveted type since we are converting them. We're just removing their turret and putting in a new turret in them. I actually think we will leave the radio equipment in as well. And we won't be replacing anything there. Maybe though we could add some. We've got a bunch of extra reliability. So we could add some extra ammunition. Or smoke launchers maybe. Oh, I could maybe add both. They do the same thing for the same cost though. Defense and breakthrough is 4 and 2 and this one is 2 and 1. So we could have 2 smoke launchers instead. But we still have the reliability to use up. Oh yeah, this one doesn't cost anything, of course. So the extra ammunition is good just because it doesn't actually increase the cost now. We're still gonna have to pay quite a bit to produce these. And no, we're not gonna have anything like that. These are supposed to be a little bit further back from the front. But we could add some smoke launchers. That'll be 0.4 in production costs to add that on. And it gives us a bit more defense. I'm looking mostly at the defense here because the and when we go this, the breakthrough is going to go down anyway. We'll pop it over into artillery. Boy oh boy, these do not look pretty. but this is exactly what a self-propelled howitzer is, and we've got the close support gun on, which is more one of these short barrel types. We can replace them for one of these longer barrel types later on. It's supposed to be the same chassis. We don't really need the armor there either. Maybe we could add even more extra. Can probably get away with even more extra ammunition there, since we're gonna bump the speed down a bit. They're 8.1, that's gonna match up with our medium and heavy tanks. 18 defense, 25 soft attack. And I think the self-propelled artillery probably aren't too much to use. So this is going to be the, and it says SU1, but we're going to pop it over to the SU5. It's a little bit of a more modern version. Yeah, so let's save this pretty beast. And we can put them into production. And get them up a bit, and this one we will put on conversion. Don't really want to convert the BT5s, and to prevent the BT5s from being converted, we can recommission them. And we also want to, while we're here, we can put the BT7s up as fast tanks. Did it save that? Yes. And we will do the same thing for the BT5s. That just means that the division is allowed to use both of these pieces of equipment. When we go back to Motostrelkovaya, we can now select the rabbits here, which means they will only use light tanks that have a speed of above 10 at least. So we'll have the BT5s as reserve units for these, for the time being. And with that we should have unlocked the ability to put in a self-propelled artillery. That bumps up the soft attack by quite a bit. It actually bumped up the armor too by 0.0. Okay, that's nothing. And well, that's going to be all. We need a lot of self-propelled artillery now since they changed that. I really like that change from gameplay perspective, even if it doesn't really make sense. We can convert some of our tank divisions into this template, so they will automatically become the better ones. And that would be, we probably want to convert, yeah, this one here we want to have as a Motostrelkovaya, so we get rid of that one. And these are of course missing loads of equipment now. That's fine because they've been expanded. We will need to train these up. And then we've got these two armies. We probably want to move one of them over to here somewhere. Do we have, yeah, we've got supply here. Since we have the supply depot here, this is a good route to push into here also. We will just set them up like so for now. We'll put one of the armies over there and we got the other one here. We should be able to... No, it's going to be a long time until we start with so many of these that we can't really produce any more of them. What you could do, of course, is get rid of some of these. And let's check that with the artillery out, if we were to add the artillery now. No, only infantry. But on the motorized side, everything is... That was a funny quirk of bayonet strength. I haven't used it before. Okay, we got 3 of these. Let's just pop them into some of these armies here. And make them nice and even numbers. And let's grab... Okay, I wanted to convert all of these into the Tankovaya Divizia, which is essentially the same template as they already have, with the addition of I lost my train of thought. The same division that they had before, of course, except that they also had the self-propelled artillery and some support equipment. And they are set to high reinforcements priority. Alright, so now we just need loads and loads of military factories. I think we want to put this one right at the top, so we can get maybe 2 factories into that. We have started building the military factories, of course. And we probably should be able to put in some more of these mills over here. So we have 1 military factory here, and we got another slot there. We need to add them in 5 more. Same thing here. We can add 2 more there. It's a civilian factory, it's dockyards. And let's add them in there. That's 3. 4 states, and we need 1 more. Doesn't really matter which one we choose. That means we have our 10 states over here already fixed up already. We then also want to start. This is one of the aluminium is one of the resources that we're going to be having a tough time with, because we need a lot of support equipment and we need a lot of 28 days until we get Mercer there. And we need a lot of aircraft, of course, and all the aircraft cost a lot of... Another Chilean one cost a lot of aluminium. And rubber we can't really do any much about, so we need to import that anyway. Now we're getting up there with the air experience again. And another agent. And another agent. So we're missing 5, 8, 11. What's this? 15, 18, 19, 21 Turkish agent. Uruguayan agent. Okay, so we've got 3 dockyards again. We probably finished that last one. That was why we had the empty one there that I removed. Okay, so we've run out of rubber. I swear I've imported it from the Brits several times now. Artreya, why has it gotten cancelled? I wonder. Maybe that's a bug in Expert AI that you need to reset it every time you reload a save game. That looks fine. Once these finishes off, we will pop up more civilian factories up at the top. We will keep building civilian factories on our full slots until sometime in mid-1940 maybe, and then we'll go full in on military factories and anything else we might need. We might need to build up some synth refineries just for the rubber. Alright, now we don't want to press the doctrines yet. So decisions, we're gonna have to use this decision sometime soon, because we can't get through this entire 70-day period without risking going above 21. So 1 more tick off this one as soon as we get up above 20. Now we want to see if we could use this political power for anything. And I think the next thing we want to do is war economy, but we can't really do that yet. With the we need a little bit more war support. I'm gonna hold off on that just a little bit more. We've got 3 more days on Mercer here. We can pop over to Mexico, where Trotsky is hiding. So we've now captured loads of these double agents, which is fun. But the one we want is Ramon Mesader. And he will have to build a network in Mexico City. And that means we should get these 2. And the subtle assassination requires only 25%, so I think... No, you can't even see. I was thinking maybe we could get in on them and actually look at the stats for them, but it doesn't really seem that way. Okay, so we got the computing machine. And what do we want to go for now? I was thinking of maybe popping up for the heavy hulls so we could start building the Kronstadt class battle cruisers. And we probably would want some bigger guns and things for that too. We've got all of this to research. It's still too early for the tanks. It's gonna take too long time. And we're still ahead of time on the mechanized. I do want to use some mechanized this playthrough. I like mechanized. And we could be doing these two, of course, but no, I think we have a little bit, or radio would also be one. I think we have a little bit of time, so. And we could possibly go for, now let's try to do the heavy hulls, the inclined armor belts, and no, we want to bigger batteries. We're just gonna go for the bigger armor there. Should be perfectly fine. We should be able to build a decent enough battlecruiser with just these two techs. And they did have 3, I think, Kronstadt class ships laid down before the war. And they of course got captured by the Germans and scrapped. The Munich Agreement, that means Anschluss is done. No, that's the Sudetenland, isn't it? No, they've done Sudetenland. When have they done that? Yeah. Yeah, okay, they've done both of them now. And now they were working on... No, that's what we're working on. Trying to work out when war support would go up here. We're working on war economy now, which doesn't do anything for that. And I don't know if these... Yeah, world tension increases, but that's not until 39. They do Faith of Czechoslovakia. And the Japanese aren't going to raise world tension anymore anytime soon. Maybe it's with... Oh yeah, Albania should go soon. We can't see what the Italians are up to, but that should be the next one. Right, so we need to keep an eye out for the network strength here. We can probably sit over on this end. Because we can't go up to war economy just yet. And we capture Romanian operative. Yeah, I don't know if we'll be getting war economy before December. We need to keep a bit of track on air experience there too. So we'll just we'll collect some political power for a bit. We'll be able to spend it in a little bit. Now railway guns would be really nice to get as well. They're quite good, but there's a high likelihood of them being overrun on the defensive when we are retreating, so we will hold off a little bit on that. Now for navy experience, we got to use it for something. We might as well save some research time, since the navy experience is basically free anyway. And we want to add some trains to the production line. We can start off with just one factory up pretty high. Let's get the self-propelled artillery first though. And we really need to get that factory into support equipment and into artillery. Anti-air is a lot cheaper. And just having the... Let's see, we can unpause meanwhile I'm talking. Just having the support anti-air makes a huge difference in the amount of air damage you take and the amount of aircraft you shoot down. Okay, so we finished the block of rights and Trotskyites. Let's get rid of that one. The third Moscow trial. And the investigations before the second Moscow trial also revealed a large network of Trotskyists in the military and upper party leadership, led by Bukharin. These people have been arrested and interrogated. where they have confessed to the most serious and heinous of crimes, from planned sabotage to attempted assassination, conspiring with foreign powers and even mixing nails into butter to injure or kill regular Soviet citizens. If convicted, the penalty for these crimes would almost certainly be death by shooting. Another group of traitors brought to justice. And the Great Purge will be removed from the game when we lose 4 of our civilian... 4 of these civilian characters or advisors. And not a lot to do about that. There they're gone. Now we don't have a scroll bar here anymore. And now it's also free to... We got Yagoda here. It says we're also free to replace him if we were to wish. We don't need a head of the NKVD anymore. And we have the 2 other ones here, of course. And they provide a minus instability. So while we're waiting for war support, we might actually want to switch in... He doesn't do us much good, does he? I might want to switch in Merkulov. Otherwise it would be... You can get... Oh, here. Patriarch Sergei, who is a really nice advisor to have. But that means you need to go down... all the way down to here, and we're not going to get that far down, not at least until very, very late in game. And in that case it might be better to replace him. Now to get Stalin's cult of personality, we can't start that off until 175 days. And we've got so much else to do, so this is a pretty nice part of the tree too, with lots of nice bonuses. But I don't think we're actually gonna make it down any of these anytime soon. We need to focus on something else. And we're going to start off by going all the way over here. We're going to support the Kuomintang so we can finally send some equipment to China, and we can send volunteer air forces to China. And I don't think Stalin gets any new traits from that. No, he doesn't. But now we have a bunch of these things that we kind of need to get rid of. We're in a pretty bad place, and these ones cost 50 political power to get rid of. But maybe we should start with that's why we capture all the enemy operatives, I think, because we have the NKPD there. So we could replace him with... That'll give us 5 more stability, which wouldn't be too bad, since we lost 5 stability from one of the focuses we did. I'll have to think about that one for just a little bit, I think. Yeah, we'll wait here for Ramon to finish up his network so we can send him off on the subtle assassination. There we go. And let's just have a pause here. This one is risky. And if we were to put one of these in, it's also going to be risky. Put him on resume mission, and we put Mercader in there. And he gets a bonus outcome here. He gets a 25% boost for bonus outcome, and from... Yeah, so because we're using this specific agent, we get a boost to doing this, and it's in Mexico, of course. Gonna commence when ready. This one does take an entire year, and that means we have this one run at about the same time it did historically. He was assassinated in March 39. You could also do this one, and I think this one has a higher chance to actually complete it. And I think in reality they tried to do a subtle assassination. It didn't really work out. And then no, they raided his villa first, didn't they? And then they planned this subtle assassination, and he later died in hospital from the wounds he got from the wounds Trotsky got from being hit with an ice axe. That's why you got the ice axe there. But we will get this one off, or get it up and running. And by putting a third one in, we can actually keep the network in Berlin running. Prepared. Oh yeah, it's not going to launch. When you take commence when ready and you press go, it won't go until the next tick. But now we just started it off anyway. Okay, so I think we're going to choose the elusive gentleman there. Just to get, mostly to get the stability up. We can always replace him again later on. And we're going to need this agency upgrade time. It's going to be nice when we start really upgrading our agency right when the war starts. And these other ones are quite okay as well. Now that otherwise both of these increase the paranoia, so you don't want to switch them out earlier. And you can get a random event if paranoia is too high that replaces one of these. We will select Merkulov. We can't get the war economy right now anyway, so we might as well spend the political power on something useful. And getting more stability is always useful. Alright. And also, no, it's down here. No, the Spanish Civil War hasn't ended yet. This is a really long Spanish Civil War. Doesn't seem to be a lot happening down here at all. It can't be far away though from... Oh, they're quite far away. I see they got double the amount of divisions. Something should be happening here soon. I mean, in reality it did drag on for quite a long time. Normally you would start building close air support right now, right? But we're not going to be building these. We're not going to have the air superiority to fly any close air support missions in the beginning of the war either. We're going to use tactical bombers and strategic bombers because we can bomb behind enemy lines. And at least the strategic bombers are okay at fending themselves off. The tactical bombers aren't quite as good, of course. We can build tactical bombers faster, and most of the Soviet bomber fleet, which I believe at the start of World War II was actually the largest bomber force in the world, was mostly of tactical bombers. The PE-8 was the only 4-engine bomber the Soviet Union made. And the E04, so they weren't really used in a naval attack role. I believe they were used as a ground support aircraft. And a little bit for a naval attack, of course, but not primarily. Alright, so we got both of our factories in there. We got the close air support. Let's just decommission that one. And we want to research. I want to get the research boost before we do that. Do we want anything more? We got 46 days until they are completed. Could get the airplane catapults. Those are a little bit better for surface detection, but we're going to be using this mostly as a strike force ship. They're going to be sitting in port waiting for an eventual Soviet or German attack. Could use better medium batteries. We're going to design a light cruiser sometime soon too. Yeah, I think we'll just take that because we're still a little bit ahead of time for... We want to get this, of course, before the war breaks out. And we want to get logistics companies. This isn't too we're not in a rush to do this. Radar would be nice to get at least a few levels. That means we can intercept more German bombers when they come. And maybe getting up to level 2 or level 3 would be nice. That's the same thing. This one's quite a long research. And then they slow down a little bit. We also want to do a bit here, of course. That's a little bit ahead of time. Yeah, let's pop over here. We'll do the medium batteries. And we'll have a little bit of naval text. We're getting another slot back there in 10 days anyways too. So we can start working on something else. The 4th International. Number of communist delegates from around the world met in Paris today for a founding conference, laying the groundwork for what was known as the 4th International. Calls for its formation have existed for years, with supporters of Trotsky's theories taking the lead. Stalin has responded to the growing support for Trotskyism abroad by ordering additional assassinations and increasing propaganda against his own rival. With this past purges of the suspected Trotskyists in high ranks of the Soviet military and leadership in recent memory, this is unlikely to be met with any resistance. A violent era for the Union. Oh yes, indeed. And we do need to use up some of this air experience. We're going to be getting even more air experience soon enough. So I think we just deploy all of these. They're waiting for artillery, of course, and just have them deployed there. And we completed support the Kuomintang. It's a lot of text down here, but and the only thing that really matters for us is this last one. We can send volunteer forces, which means we can send volunteer air forces. Alright, so now we want to continue on with the development of the Soviet Union. We've got the purge done, and we've done a bit of the things that we needed to do to get them on historical dates, like the transporter flights. So we will now go off and finish the 5-year plan. I'm not really sure which year the 5-year plan was finished, but it could very well be at the end of 38. Alright, so let's get that one out of the way. We got a bunch of new divisions here now. I actually got 3 more than I was expecting. 4 of them, we can put them in there. Another 4, we can have them in there. 3. Oh, another one there. And all of these are we missing one maybe? No, we got too many. I might convert the... I'll use these two. Now we could probably put one of them down here. And this is in... Okay, they're just standing here in the Urals. And these are probably good candidates to be... Let's we'll start... Let's put that one down. Let's put reinforcements down. We want to train up some of these. And those can be on a high priority as well. They're just infantry equipment and a tiny bit of artillery. It doesn't really matter where we place these. So let's put them down here in Stalingrad. And these are going to be manning a little bit of the east area, so we have some kind of presence here. And most importantly, we also want to have them here on the Finnish border. Since up here, supply is horrendous. Also means that these 6 divisions here, and these are the NKVD divisions, we can convert them right away. And I think these are also NKVD divisions. So let's have those converted as well. into infantry brigades. We could probably use with some proper divisions here on Leningrad. And we could use these, split them up in between the armies up here. All of these are going to be on the Finnish border. And when the hostilities start breaking up, the Finns are sitting here on the border already, probably suffering attrition. Okay, so we need to do something with our air experience. And probably we could be upgrading the range of our naval bombers a bit. We just took a little bit of air experience into that. That makes quite a big difference. Reliability, I guess it does matter because of the air accidents we have. And don't think we want to spend 110 on the few naval bombers we have. What we will do is we will bump the engine up to 5 here. Don't know why it would. Oh yeah, because the Soviets had a really weird naming scheme. I'll just call this the I-16M or modernized. And we won't put any more points into this one. But since it's going to be a little while until we actually complete the 1940s variants, we might as well push out some better fighters for here. And we'll replace those. We still want to have these down here for the border conflict. And let's let the clock run again there. And Hungary renounces the Treaty of Trianon. And we got the inclined belt armor scheme. And it's a little bit early to go for anything here. Let's pick up the radios. And then we'll go into infantry tech, I think, after that. That bought us a lot of headroom here on the air experience. We can probably check some of our... Let's select these. They go into the Baltic submarine fleet. The rest of them go into the Baltic fleet. We have a decent amount of heavy ships here too now. And this is our Murmansk fleet. We'll pop them into the northern fleet up here. The Severny Flot. And the second Kirov for the Chernomorsk Flot, the Black Sea fleet. And they're still out training. That's good. Or maybe we set them to train indefinitely. That's fine, they can go to port now, they don't need to be training. We'll leave the subs training. They get enough experience. We can... And these were actually ships that they bought from the Italians, or that were designed with Italian help. Okay, so Baltic fleet is our main fleet. We lost our really nice one, but we do have Sergei Gorshov left here. And he has a Bold. Bold is a really nice trait. Philip Otabrysky got cowed by Stalin. And he's good if you're going to do ground or have a lot of... He would be a decent one for the Baltic fleet as well, with all the capital ships we have there. Some extra armor and shore bombardment bonus. We have the Shallow Sea. I think the Black Sea is an ocean. And then up in the upper Baltic we have Archipelago. And we have a Shallow Sea in the lower Baltic. And then it's Archipelago again. And Shallow Sea. I think this is ocean. No, fjords and archipelago. And up here is ocean. So he would be a good one for the Baltic fleet too. And then we have the Sea Wolf, who is also cowed by Stalin. And we're going to be doing most of our raiding up in the northern fleets. We will select him there. And we will, I think we'll go with Gordy Levchenko on the Baltic fleet for that Shallow Seas bonus. Then on the Black Sea fleet we will use Sergei Gorshov for the Bold here with extra naval speed and damage. in case we have to fight any ships there. And we will go with Kastanov for the northern fleet. And he's got a treaty we can assign to. And so this one is very good if you're attacking fleets with your submarines, so you can, or screened convoys, so more of the torpedoes go through. It doesn't really, I think it amounts to like 1% higher hit chance against convoys. This helps our submarines stay alive. And we don't have very many submarines up there at the moment. Mostly you want to get to these two here, to get the hit chance and the torpedo cooldown. You can have, I think you get both of these from both of these. And Hunter Killer you get from Destroyer Leader. It's a little bit hard to follow these. A Silent Hunter maybe goes into Torpedo Expert. I think both Silent Hunter and Destroyer Leader goes to this Loading Rail Master, but the Torpedo Expert and Hunter Killer require Destroyer Leader or Silent Hunter. We will go Silent Hunter there anyway. Yeah, we get both of these. And can we select another one there? So cooldown is normally you fire torpedoes every 4 hours, so this means that you fire them every 3 hours. That's a 25% increase in damage output essentially, and this just means that you hit them a little more. Yeah, so we will assign this there. I think this one is the better one, but we'll get both of them when he gets enough points. Let's can probably, we got the command power, we might as well spend it. I'm not too much of a fan of this Winter Expert trait. We will save this trait instead and get Infantry Expert or something better for him when it comes along. Now here we got Field Marshal Clement Voroshilov, and he's an inflexible strategist. This is the probably best trait in the game, since you can get Unyielding Defender, which increases defense by 10%, and this increases both defense and breakthrough by 10%, whilst this one only increases breakthrough by 10%. So this is a really, really, really strong trait. Obviously he's getting it. And that also means that now we're here down in the, yeah, he's in charge of the what do we call them? The Iranian forces. Now we have another operative. Let's pop up here and we can check what Semyon Timoshenko has. He doesn't have any of those really, really, really nice ones. And we're gonna be fighting a lot of defense, but this is a % increase to entrenchment. While this one is Orgloss while moving, and they're going to be moving quite a bit, since they have to fall back. And attack also means that we inflict more damage on the Germans as they're advancing. Max entrenchment, we need to actually get the entrenchment. That means we have to stand still in the same spot without being attacked. So I like offensive doctrine a little bit more. And we can select a second trait for Timoshenko too. And the recovery rate is probably going to be the better one here. So we regain our org faster. We recover from the battles quicker. That means they're in better shape when the counterattack comes. Does he have another one? No, now we're on Field Marshal Yakov Cherevchenko. And we will do the same thing here. We go offensive doctrine and charismatic. And let's see if our field marshals up here also can have some doctrines. And obviously we do the same thing here. I like this combination. Now we could use the organization first for the extra reinforce rate as well here. But I think we're gonna hold off on it because hopefully we can get Zhukov to become a panzer leader and get the combined arms expert. Would be nice. Yeah, or panzer leader. I'm unsure which one of these would be better for us actually, with the division signs that we do have. We'll get back to that when we get to that. We're not going to spend his other points. And then we also have Field Marshal Ivan Kunev and offensive doctrine and the charismatic here too. Okay, we ran out of command points there. We will get back to that in a bit. Okay, so we can have yet another one, a natural orator. They're quite rare. It would be nice to pick them up. But we're not going to be using any of that. We don't need a South African double agent. But she is a seducer. Japanese one might come in handy. And we do have these German operatives as well. And since we're going to have her building the Intel network here. They were both female. They don't have any names. That was so sad. Why don't they have any names? Well, we'll grab her anyway. And she can start building the network. Looks like we saved the network just in time. I think that was why we lost the infiltrations we had before, because the network died out. And now we can't see anything anymore. But we can see that they've got 22 to 23 military factories on aircraft. And they're not actually producing any tanks now, which feels a little bit weird considering it's about a year until they go to war. But Expert AI seems to be handling that quite well. Okay, so yeah, we couldn't do anything more with them. We want to loosen the prohibitions here, but we need to let some time pass. 365 days from when the purge ended before we can remove them. We can send infantry equipment to China. We should be able to send the air units too. We could actually do the improved worker conditions again, but we're not going to need that. Let's see if we can send some. Yeah, we can send volunteers. We will send just air volunteers again. Could send 10 other divisions here if we wanted to. That's going to be a lot of micromanagement that I'd rather not deal with. We have lost the other one there. We should be getting our aircraft back from Spain very soon too. This does not look like they're going to be holding out for very much longer. And what we could do, yeah, we really want to get our war support up just a little bit more. We're going to unclick this one. We could do some war propaganda just for that war support. And we should probably be... yeah, we'll do the war support against Japan. Set us back just a little bit. Now we need to send some aircraft down to China. We are allowed 308 aircraft in China. So it's... they're fighting in... well, basically fighting in... yeah, they're fighting in 3 air zones. Let's see if we can send some... I'll put down... yeah, we can probably maybe send some of these as... could send some as Lend-Lease. No, we'll... do we want to send... yeah. I think what we will do for China, we want to kind of save up on our bomber fleet. So we will send interwar fighters. We will make it a specialized air wing. That means it won't reinforce with anything other than I-15s. And we will duplicate it. And we have 3 squadrons here. We'll set them to daytime only, standing by, perfect. And we will fly them down. We will fly onto there. They still hold this airport, and they don't hold the airport in Guangxi. Looks like. No, Guangxi isn't in the war yet, is it? It should be. Oh yeah, but we can't send anything to non-China, of course. So we just need to wait for these to arrive here. Alright, so we finished the battleships, and we're not waiting for any more techs. We can design the battleships too. We want to get down to the artillery here. So let's grab the interwar artillery, because we want to have the medium howitzers. Let's save that one there for now. We will wait for our aircraft to arrive. And put these three, we'll put them on air superiority. And no, put them up this way. We're probably going to lose this airport very soon, but we can fly out of it as long as possible. This will just help us get even more air experience, especially since the war here in Spain is fizzling out. Now we've lost a lot of aircraft here, but our tactical bombers have gained quite a bit of expertise. But you can see the fighter wings here, they're just fighting continuously at very low experience levels. They're dying so fast that they can't gain any experience, and that is even running veteran air instructors. So we'll get those planes back in a little bit. Yeah, but I think that's going to be it for this episode. We're going to design some new ships in the next episode. We're waiting for the medium battery here too before we design them. We'll design a battle cruiser and a light cruiser, and that's going to be nice, and we'll put them into production too, of course. Let's see how we are doing here. It's soon time to increase the... You can actually bump these up. They can keep building them in the same places. Both of these are way out in the east. If the Germans get all the way to Ufa here, we're probably done for. The same thing with Tashkent. If we're fighting in these areas, it's gonna be a hard fight back. We're probably, could possibly be holding on along the north here, but there shouldn't be any big issue to hold on to Leningrad, Moscow, and Stalingrad, I don't think. We'll see what happens down here. Historically, of course, the Germans advanced up to about here somewhere, and up to the mountain ridge here, I think, and just around Stalingrad, and up quite far in, because they were up to Moscow, weren't they? They were around here somewhere, and all the way up, surrounding Leningrad. And Leningrad was supplied over the lake. So that's quite a bit in for the historical German maximum advancement. But thank you very much for watching. Take care, and see you next time.